Hey, happy Monday. Tonight, I am going to start my playthrough of Dawn of the Zeds. Ho, ho, ho. Designed by my friend Hermann Luttmann. It is from Victory Point Games. So come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Daily Dope. Yes, running way late tonight. I will get into that in just a moment as I'm trying to get everything all put together here for the playthrough. Oh, welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, March 30th, 2020. This is episode 461 of the Daily Dope. Of course, I am your host, Jeff McAleer. This show is provided to you by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the grand poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief. This is the first time you've tuned in. It's very casual. Normally, during a normal life, we talk about tabletop gaming news, a little bit of pop culture, things like that, but for the most part, pretty much chatting about the tabletop gaming news. But with all these crazy stay-at-home orders and sheltering in place like we are here in Illinois, and just with everything just insane right now, not doing that, just kind of trying to do some kind of lighter stuff, just kind of kicking back, trying to blow off a little steam. So, tonight, I am going to be sharing a playthrough of Dawn of the Zeds. It's, we're going to play kind of the basic game. We're not going to get real deep into all the various different aspects of it. But, kind of show it off, have a little fun, fight off the zombie apocalypse if we can. So that's going to be tonight. I'm sure we won't finish up tonight. So tomorrow I will wrap that up. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to take some first looks at some new stuff that's out there. So on Wednesday, this just arrived today. I think might as well just do an unboxing and first look at Santa Monica right here on the Daily Dope. That'll be Wednesday's show. And then Thursday, we'll take a look at the new expansion for Tiny Towns, which was one of my favorite new games of 2019. This is Fortune. And I should point out, I've got a copy to give away. How about that, then? All right. So, as I mentioned, this is a live stream. So if you are watching live, keep in mind, there is chat available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do try my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, maybe you got a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you do. Don't forget, ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you of when the Daily Dope streams live Mondays through Thursdays, it will also tell you when I upload standalone videos, which I did as well over the weekend. Got some new stuff up there for you to check out. So, including my review of the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, which is from Wizards of the Coast for D&D, and it is from Wizards of the Coast, and I should say Critical Role as well. So as I mentioned, tonight we're going to play some Dawn of the Zeds, which originally came out, I want to say 2012. It's from Victory Point Games. It originally arrived, it was in a Ziploc bag, which is kind of how the Victory Point Games releases were for quite a long time. It was one of the bigger Ziploc bags. So it was, what is it, 11 by 8.5? And loved it. It was actually my game of the year for 2012, even though it came in a Ziploc bag. But of course, this is the third edition of Dawn of the Zeds. So gone is the Ziploc bag. Now it's pretty much put together like you would see any of the board games from any large publisher out there. First, Victory Point Games is part of the Tabletop Tycoon network of companies. So they took over about a year and a half ago, thereabouts. So I know it was prior to last Gen Con. So we're going to move on over to the other camera. Do want to mention, too, that hopefully the audio is a little bit different. The audio is a little bit different tonight. And because I was playing around with that a little bit. So I'm not sure. Just trying to get, because I have some really hard S's. So I was trying to get rid of that. All right, got to point out, I have not played Dawn of the Zeds in a while. So probably take me a little getting used to once again. So this is the layout here. So basically, it is Farmingdale, New York. Yes, really is a Farmingdale. And we are looking to try to defend Farmingdale as well as the outskirts as best we can from the zombie apocalypse. As these zombies are approaching, we're going to need to fight them. We cannot let them reach the town center. If they reach the town center, game is over. So we have an event deck. We've got a fate deck as well. I'll kind of zoom in, maybe show off some of the cards as we're playing. We have 4 heroes who are going to try to lead the fight against the Zeds. We also have an organization. We have a local group which is going to be helping us as well, and it is the Farmingdale Fire Department. So we've got them as well. In fact, I already have them set up in the town center. So what happens here, this is effectively, this is a States of Siege game. So if you had played any of the, a lot of the older Victory Point games that had come out, you know, like 2010, 2014, States of Siege is one of their kind of, I want to say it's a lineup of games, but they're very different. And I got to point out, this really shook things up. It was Dawn of the Zeds, as well as Steve Carey did a couple of designs for Victory Point games. And it was We Must Tell the Emperor, which was the Pacific War in World War II, but you were playing as the Japanese. Mm-hmm. And then there was the that Scorpion of the Sea, which was the actually the Siege of Malta during World War II. And of course, we also had Dawn of the Zeds. So he's really bumped up the complexity of the States of Siege games. Cruel Necessity is also kind of a States of Siege game, which came after this. That was, I think, about 2016. Anyway, I noticed Flaming Heron's in chat. Good to see you, Flaming Heron. I'm assuming we are not going to have pretty much anybody hanging out tonight, besides maybe Flaming Heron. Number one, because I'm late. I'm like 25 minutes late. And the problem was, I'll tell you right now what the problem was. This camera right here. Nikon. It was, now I haven't done anything since Saturday. Down here in the Duct Tape Studios, hadn't touched anything. Windows had not updated. And all of a sudden, I turn everything on. I'm ready to go. I got my little, images set up for my Dawn of the Zeds, Victory Point games. And it kept showing that the capture device for the Nikon was being used by something else. And it's like, what? It's like, what? Not being used by anything else. I kept messing around, restarting, all this other stuff. I was like, damn you. But hey, better late than never, as Flaming Heron has pointed out. All right, so let's jump back. So we got the board here. It's funny thing is, I didn't even finish setting the game up because of all that craziness. We're gonna get our Zeds out. So we're gonna get our Zeds. We're gonna get our different like Super Zed stuff. Now, I got to tell you, there is lots and lots in this game. So, just to kind of give you an example, so I'll be the first to admit that I really loved Dawn of the Zeds, but it had gotten to the point, especially with this third edition, where there was just a lot of stuff being added into the game that it really didn't need. Kind of a everything but the kitchen sink. I'll kind of give you an example here. So we've got all these different rule books that come with it, and it's wacky. Which, I mean, in a way, I guess it was kind of like, okay, well, we're going to teach you how to play like the basic game, the advanced game, the super advanced game. We got everything but the kitchen sink in this game. So we got to set up an epilogue book, which you can use for any of the games, right? So you can use it for. Hang on one sec. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger on my end, my preview here, so I can tell that make sure that everything is in focus. All right, so this kind of has a setup. This explains, okay, so, well, okay, you're playing the basic game. This is how you're going to set the game up, or you're going to set up the deck. Okay, so we got that, right? We got the basic game book. Start here. So this is going to teach you how to play the game, right? So, like so. It's got a lot of illustrations, things like that. I'm not saying that this is a difficult game to figure out. I'm just telling you there's a lot to it, right? So that's the basic game. And we got the A to Z book, right? The A to Zeds book, which is all of the rules, right, in one book. This is really, in my opinion, this is the rule book that I utilize when I'm going to play like a big, massive game, and there's going to be 4 of us playing. I use this as the rule book because we usually have a lot of other extra stuff in here. This is the level up rule book, which was the advanced rules. And then we also have the Farmingdale dossier, which tells us all about different stuff, about the different characters. And it's like, huh? We need all these different rule books? It's like, could it just have one rule book, right? I think. Okay, so I need to grab some of these Zeds. So I just want regular Zeds, not super Zeds. We don't want the bigger, chunkier counters. Just want the smaller ones. And the Zeds are tough. Zeds are not easy to get rid of. Although, like I said, we are playing, excuse me, we are playing the basic game. So they are a little bit easier to defeat. So we have 4 different tracks. Now, now I like this side of the board. Because this is dual-sided. So I like this side of the board playing solitaire because I've got all my stuff right here. I've got all my goodies right here. So, and I don't have to use a little extra chart, which if I'm using the other side, which has a subterranean tunnel system, which I am not a fan of. And I think the main reason I'm not a fan of it is because characters can get lost in it, and it's kind of wonky, right? So that's why I don't tend to care for it much. But anyway, so there's like all these different things, right? So we've got, like for an example, we've got all these different groups that could be helping us. Here's a bunch of characters. There are actually extra characters, extra tokens, extra expansions, little expansions, which I have. Just want to kind of show some of this stuff off. Now, these are some of the bad guys. Anti-hero. Yeah, right. You're a bad guy. Flint, charcoal. Yeah, take some of that. So, You can add different stuff where we have like a mad scientist. There's the mad scientist right there, who's experimenting with the Zeds. We can have these bad guys like running around causing trouble while we're trying to fight the Zeds. There's loads and loads of cool little things. So we have an event card deck. We have a fate deck. So these are the two decks of cards that we're going to draw from. So we're going to have event cards we're going to draw every turn. And then we might have to be, it'll tell us if we have to draw a fate card. So once again, there are loads and loads of these event cards and fate cards. We have research cards. So to research the super weapon, or you can also be researching the cure. So just to kind of give you an idea of some of these different cards. So all of these cards get added in depending on what level of complexity and what level length game you want to play. So that is one of the things that I really, really dig about Dawn of the Zeds, is that you kind of can put together the sort of game you want. If you want to have some big epic clash, you can do it. This plays perfectly solitaire. It plays really well with extra players as well, up to 4 players. My nephew Cameron loves this game. He really, really digs this game a lot. So, Will Burton's popped in. Good to see you, Will. Thanks for swinging in on a late start tonight. So we'll probably go to about 8:30 Central Time, and then I will just leave this set up, and we will pick it up once again tomorrow as we're playing. All right, so I'm not going to explain every aspect of this simply because we want to actually get into the game. So I'm going to put our heroes here. So we've got our heroes down here. So we have all the heroes also have cards. So we got Rick Grimes. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean Sheriff Hunt. Oh, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom on in a little touch. We can get a better look at these tokens. And get a better feel for the board itself too. So we've got Sheriff Hunt. So each of your heroes is going to have some special abilities. Some abilities will take actions, which we only have a limited number of actions that we can take. Also, we have character abilities. So the sheriff actually has a character ability, which is leadership. So we get a token that would go on his card, and once per action phase, which is effectively kind of once per turn, we're able to spend his leadership, which allows us to give civilians or refugees, which are over here, we'll see them in a bit, or like for an example, the fire department, right? The auxiliaries, they're civilians, right? We can control them. We can give them a free action to use. The sheriff can attack long range because he's got a gun. He's tough. He can use martial arts. And law enforcement in a versus game, where you also have a versus game that you can play where one of the players controls not only the zombies, but also the bad guys. So we got Captain Piazza. She is a sniper. She's actually Cameron's favorite hero. We also have Deputy Schmidt. So he has a special ability. It's initiative. So he can actually spend this he gets a bonus action. He effectively gets a bonus action each turn. And then we also have Mr. Johnson, kind of the crazy hermit. So we've got him. Now he does not have a specific special ability token to spend. And then we've got the fire department. They're heroic civilians. So we're going to see that we have strength, we have hit points, for each of the characters as well. These Zed counters that we're going to pull, I'm going to pull and put out, which we're going to have more and more of these Zeds appearing. Interesting thing with them is that they take a lot of hits for you to wipe out. So we have step reduction here. So for an example, we've got a 9 strength Zed. That's, ugh. So it would take 3 hits for us to flip this over to its reduced side, which is 4. It takes 3 more hits to kill it. Our heroes don't have that many hits. So we have to be very, very careful. We try to engage in gunfire against the Zeds whenever we can, because for one, we want to try to keep the infection level down, and we can't be hurt. We can't fight back against gunfire. Let's zoom back out a little bit. Get back out to the board here. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is each of these tracks, so we got a forest track, we got a suburb track, highway track, mountain track. They are all going to get a Zed counter. All right. And then we get a Zed counter full strength. So we got 6, we have 5. We have, crap, there's the 9. Rats. And 6. Okay. So we've got our handy dandy player aid, which also has our combat. So we've got our hand-to-hand combat and our gunfire attacks. Got symbol keys, resources, abilities, all different stuff. So first thing we do is we're going to draw an event card. So our first event card, and we actually build this deck. We'll build this deck to start the game off. So I've already built the deck. So I've got that. So since we're playing kind of the basic game, we're actually just using blue cards. So our first event says, Hunting Lodge located. So at the end of this phase, +2 ammo. If a player unit is in the campground, place the goodies marker in this space as a reminder. There's the campground. It's up here. I'm going to put that goodies right there. So we don't have any increase in our infection level. Eat. So we have supplies we have to use. We have ammo. So we've got 12 supplies. We've got 11 ammo. We will end up with 3 actions for us to be able to utilize. And the Zeds on the mountain track are going to move. And the Zeds on the suburbs track are going to move. So we also have civilians. So we've got civilians out here that we want to try to save. Now, I joke about this all the time. I remember, not so lucky dip, says Flaming Huron. I joke around all the time that it's like, were these people like watching like cable movies or something? Were they watching Netflix? Didn't get the news that the zombies are coming because they are defiant. They are defiant civilians who will turn into refugees. Okay, so you can see we got the little blue stripe here. So that means that we're using this in the basic game. You would also use this in other like more advanced games as well. So we moved our Zeds. So we're going to have our actions. So we have 3 actions. Everybody's going to start in the town center. We do have a stacking limit of 2. So we can have 2 heroes or a hero and an auxiliary or civilians in one, just like the Zeds. Zeds have the same thing that we have as far as they can only have 2. But that makes them like a mob. That makes them a mob of zombies. All right, so First thing we may want to do is we might want to utilize Deputy Schmidt's initiative action. Right, so we would have that. I'm going to flip this over. Normally, you would have your heroes in front of you, things like that. We're kind of squeezed in here for space. So we're going to actually get a free action. So that's going to give us a free action here. So you'll notice here we got a Zeds action. That's if you're playing a versus game. So there we go. So we're going to spend that action, and we have to use it on Deputy Schmidt, who's right here. So Deputy Schmidt has a movement of 4. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get over by here. And he has to stay there because that's what the card said. It said at the end of this phase, which is basically like our last phase. If at the action phase, I should say. At the end of the action phase, if somebody's here, we're going to get 2 ammo. So, and trust me, ammo and supplies run out pretty damn fast in this game. All right, so that's the free action. Now let's do another action here. We're going to need to whittle these guys down. Because that is just, those are too many, that's too many Zeds coming at us here. So, Captain Piazza is pretty good. She's a sniper. She's pretty good at distance. So we're going to use an action for Captain Piazza right here. She has a movement of 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting her in the Lucky Strike mine. So we can also forage for stuff, which at this point in time, I'm not going to do yet. So we've got 1, 2. So a range of 2. So Captain Piazza, who's related to Mike Piazza. So here's a funny thing, right? So Hermann Luttmann, good pal of mine. He's from New York. He's a big Mets fan. So you'll see little references, kind of little New York references and New York Mets references. So you got Captain Piazza. There's Rusty Staub is actually a character in the game. It's not actually Rusty Staub, the famed pinch hitter, but all right. So she's got a 4. So what we're gonna do here? Let me get box top to roll some dice in. Hey, remember watching that last week? Play House of Riddles. So we're gonna get 2 dice. So strength of 4, gunfire attack 4. Not moving anything anywhere. So it's gonna be a 4. And come on, baby. Come on. 7. So it's gonna be 2 hits. So the way we mark the hits off is we have these little health markers. So we're gonna put that right there. So that means it's got 2 hits. It's 1 hit away from being flipped over to its reduced side. All right. So we've got 1. No, I'm sorry. We have 2 actions left. Rats. Really, really want to get that down. Let's see. Start moving to prepare for the worst. We're going to spend an action. We're going to send off our fire department auxiliaries, and we're going to head them out this way. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. As I said, you can scavenge, you can kind of forage for stuff, but it has to be a place that says it's a named place. So here, like the bridge, the university, the farm, which actually there's a foraging table right here. But you can't, like here where it says trail 1, you couldn't forage there. You wouldn't be able to forage. All right, so that leaves us with 1 action left. Oh, you know what? Duh. we spent the leadership to do that with our fire department, so that gives us an action back. Because remember, he can give an action to a civilian or refugees, which are those. Those are the refugees there. So we still have 2 actions left. So we can move. Let's bring old the hermit guy. Mr. Johnson's heading off this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, he's at the nuclear plant. So Will Burton says, looks like a fun game. I'm going to try to keep a lookout for a used copy. There are 3 editions. So the first edition is a Ziploc bag game, which of course looks nothing like this. Second edition is similar. It comes in one of those kind of odd sort of, I don't know if you remember the Victory Point games where they actually had a slip cover on the box. It is close to this. This is the definitive edition of Dawn of the Zeds. And I got to say, it's my favorite. Like I did mention that there's a little too much thrown into it, but you can just kind of peel those off, right? You don't have to necessarily use everything that's going on unless you want to have like a 6-hour game too. So, but yeah, this tends to be pretty fun. So we've got 1 action left. That leaves us with the sheriff. As we'll head the sheriff down here. And we will see if we can get these folks on out of here. So I think his movement's 4. Yep, Sheriff Hunt. Rick Grimes is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is actually with these civilians. All right, so that would be the end of the turn. And what we would look to do here is we would actually flip over our little tokens that we've used, like, like the leadership here. We would take it from being spent to flipping it back over to be able to use it again. So that is that turn. On to the next turn. Oh, we can get rid of that and add 2 more ammo. But we did spend 1 ammo with the attack, so get rid of the goodies. Here's our event. Well-armed civilians. Sweet. At the beginning of this phase, okay, that's going to be the action phase. All right. So things can happen at different points. So this is going to take place in the action phase. So, infection, no. Eat 1. Okay, so we got to use up supplies. Zeds are going to move on the forest track, which is up here. So we got them moving. And then we also have on the mountain track. Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. So we are going to have a battle there. We're going to have a fight there. So we are only going to have 2 actions available to us. Do you want to point out, this is one of these games. In fact, the States of Siege games are all like this, where there's always so much you want to be able to do that you just don't have enough actions to be able to do it. So at the end of our phase here, at the beginning of this phase, place a well-armed marker on any regular civilians unit in play until it ends up in the cemetery. That unit receives a column shift in hand-to-hand and gunfire combat. So do I want to give it to these guys? No, I'm going to give it to these guys down here. They're a strength of 4. So I am going to go and do that. So we actually have these cool little informational markers that go on top of stuff. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we're going to have some combat here. So we're going to have, unfortunately, 9 versus 3. All right, so what we're going to do here is, this is hand-to-hand combat. So now what happens here is it's going to raise our infection level. Anytime that we kind of go toe-to-toe with the Zeds, we're going to load up the infection level. We can do stuff. We can heal at the hospital to get wounds back and also try to bring down the infection level. So we've got 9 versus 3, so that's 3 to Zeds times 3. They are defending a location, so that should give them a shift. So it's a namespace, it's a town. So it is a town, so we're going to shift 2 columns. So it's going to just be Zed's advantage, which is still not good for us. All right, roll them bones. A 5. Okay, so Zeds are going to take a hit. So that's going to flip them over. Okay, these guys are no longer defiant. And they are going to retreat. So they're going to take 3 hits. So they're almost gone. So probably can't really see too well, but you'll see how it shows it's got a little heart and then it's got a little flip. So basically, something like this would take a hit. Nothing happens to it. If it takes another hit, then it gets flipped over like so. Now that's the 3rd hit. So one more hit and they will be wiped out. But now they're actually refugees. So they are going to try to make it to the center of town. So once they get to, if they get to the center of town, they then go to the refugee camp and they count as victory, kind of like victory points for us. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to save these people. So, although we have now reduced these guys in strength and they move here. Now, these refugees will not always move. So it's the event card. So here you see where we got the 4R. There's certain things, but one of the R's is refugees. And it says yes, then that means they move. And they move 2 spots, 2 spaces. Okay, so we've got that. That is the end of that event card. And we'll move to our 2 actions now. So we got Captain Piazza. Let's have her open fire at these Zeds. I do want to point out that the game continues until you've gone through all the event cards in your deck. That's for the basic game. So as far as some of the advanced games, some changes that'll happen as you add in some of these other little decks, but you don't add every card. So some stuff will happen, some stuff gets left out. One of the aspects that I always enjoy about Dawn of the Zeds is, especially when we start flipping some of these fate cards, where it's just all these different things that happen in zombie movies happen in this game. Okay, so we're going to spend one of our actions for Captain Piazza. And that is 1 space away. We're adjacent. Her strength goes down. That's okay, because we'll actually... No. Can't. Because we're at our stacking limit. Well, what the hell? We'll have her attack. So she's only at 2. Come on, high roll, high roll. 9. Well, that's better. That will do 1 hit. So they will get 1 hit on the Zeds. Okay, so that's going to be one of the actions. We're going to use our free action here for the deputy. Then we're going to maybe send the deputy down this way. Yeah, I think we'll... Now, let's leave him there. Let's just leave him there. We'll do that. We're going to use our free leadership. So there we go. Flip. There we go. Spend it. And he's going to give an action to these civilians and be like, all right, everybody get the hell out of here. Because they won't leave until the Zeds arrive. But I can give them a command and tell them, okay, sheriff's here. Sheriff's going, all right, hit the bricks, move it. So that's going to give them a free action. So, 1, 2. So they're pulling out. They're moving out of that town. Still have 1 action left. Yeah, might as well send the sheriff down with these guys. Have them defend. That'll boost their strength up quite a bit. So, all right. See what we got here. All right. That is it for that. So that would be that event card. We're done with that. We're going to flip over. We don't, we don't really have to do any housekeeping. Rule number 7, cardio. So here we go. The 4 R's 1. So they're going to get to move 1. Next, infection level. We would roll 2 dice, and you're rolling under here, which we're at a 1, so we don't have to worry about that. So the Zeds down on the suburban track are going to move twice. They move once, and they're going to come in here, and they're going to attack. So they're going to move into hand-to-hand combat. That is going to move us up here, right? So, hand-to-hand combat. We got human advantage. And we're in a town. That's going to move us 2 more. So we're going to get human times 3. All right, come on. We want to roll high. Roll high! Oh, come on. All right, so. Zeds are going to take 2. And they're going to retreat. We take 1. We're going to take 2 hits. We're going to take 1 hit. I'm going to assign the hit to the sheriff. Because he has toughness. So he might be able to shake this hit off. So if I roll a 4, 5, or 6, the hit doesn't count. Yes. So he is okay. Now, the thing is, we have the 2 movements here. It says, at the beginning of this phase, place 1 new Zed unit on an empty start space of your choice, if possible. Otherwise, place it on the start space with the lowest strength Zed unit. Now, they already moved. If and when a Zed unit enters a space occupied by any civilians or hero unit this turn, you may freely retreat. Aha, well... instead of engaging in hand-to-hand combat, which is no big deal. Let's put these guys here. Remember, it gave me an option wherever I want to put it. And then we've got, they retreated, but they're going to get another move again. So they're going to come and they're going to attack us again. So it's still going to be, we still have a big advantage here. Because we're defending a town. Yes, 11. All right, so the 3rd hit. We're actually going to do 5 hits. We're going to wipe out these Zeds here. So these Zeds are gone. So we were able to take them out. Hooray! Huzzah! And now we only get 1 action. It's like, great. Oops. We are here as far as our ammo. Forgot to take the ammo off. Let's see. What shall we do here? Okay, we're going to use our free action for the sheriff and get these guys to skedaddle. Oh, wait. They're well armed. Don't be taking that away, Jeff. And actually, you know what? We won't do that. We're gonna stick down there with these guys. So I'm gonna use my 1 action to let's have Captain Piazza fire at these guys again. Okay, it's going to cost us an ammo. So she's only going to get an attack of 2. Damn it. Oh, nothing. A waste. A waste of an action and a waste of ammo. Damn it. So what's going to happen as we move through this event deck is, Will says, your dice aren't nice with you tonight, Jeff. Well, they did okay down here. The dice were all right down here. I'm actually using the dice that come with the game. I normally don't do that. I normally use my own dice. Well, these are my own dice anyway. I own the game. All right, so we're going to take our next event deck. But as I started to say, the things that are going on in this event deck are going to get worse. You got to be kidding. So, once again, right there. All right, so we get to move to town center, refugee camp. So we have saved those refugees. So those civilians have been saved. No roll for the infection eat. Okay, so now we got to roll 1 die, and that's how many supplies we're going to have to use up. Shoot. That was 11, takes us down to 6. Zeds, all the Zeds are going to move. So at the beginning of this phase, place a new Zed unit on the start space of every track. Apply the stacking limit if necessary. So this is, like I said, this is going to start getting bad right here. Boom. So each of these are going to get a new Zed marker. Okay, so this is now a mob of 11. And this is also a mob of 11. Okay. Remove all hit markers. Yeah, that sucks. Thanks a lot. And all the Zeds are going to advance. So 1, 1, 1. Moving in, engaging in hand-to-hand combat with Captain Piazza. Moving here, moving here. And we're going to get 1 lousy action. Thanks a lot. You gotta be kidding. Okay. There are some things on the cards that since we're playing the basic game, that we actually don't do. So, like we get these little Z symbols, Z pressure. It's like there's chaos. The Zeds leave chaos in their wake behind them, and you got to actually send your heroes to kind of restore order. So that's not in the basic game as well. Like I said, there's all these little wrinkles that can be added into this really easily, and really boost up the difficulty of this game too. So we got the hand-to-hand combat taking place here. So it's going to start off with advantage Zeds, but she is defending a named place, Lucky Strike Mine. So that is going to move 1, so it's going to be equal. All right. Fingers crossed we don't lose Captain Piazza here. Shoot. 5. So. Ouch. Well, yeah, we are. But in the basic game, she's going to get to roll a save. So, they're going to take 2 hits. So they're almost out. They're almost gone. But we got to roll to see if she can save. Yes, she does. So what happens is she ends up back in the town center at full health. So she was rushed back and healed. That is one of the kind of off-the-wall sort of things that happens in the basic game. That you have like a saving roll. But the reason is because if you're playing with the other event cards, I think in the basic game we get the opportunity to, I think, get 1 more hero. But in the other decks, you can have other heroes. You can have other of the civilians come out, like the police department and things like that. Okay, so that is that. So that was the combat, the hand-to-hand combat there. Now we got one action that we can use. Let's see. So we get one action. Deputy Schmidt. He can fire. Crap. He doesn't have long range. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to move down with Mr. Johnson down into the town here to kind of help fortify that. And that's actually it. That's all we're going to get to do. Womp, 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 because we only got the one action. Next event card, Suburbs Night Assault. It's going to be down here. So, refugees do not move. Okay, so we're looking, we don't want a 12, or I'm sorry, we don't want a 2. Okay, we're good there. So, no infection, no new outbreak. So, eat, we got to eat 1. And then Zeds over here. So at the beginning of this phase, +1 infection for each Zed unit that's on the suburb track. Well, we only have 1. So there we go. Place a new Zed unit on the suburb track. Start space. Resin. And the Zeds will move on this track. So, back in hand-to-hand combat with the Zeds. Why am I grabbing that? Dummy. Dummy, we want this. So, once again, we go to advantage humans, but they're defending a town. So we're going to get that shift. Let's see what happens here. Looking for a high roll. High roll. Nice. An 11. So that's going to be 4 hits. 1, 2, 3. Flip. And give it that. And they're going to retreat. So they retreat back down there. And we are able to hold them off. We were able to hold them off. All right. Moving right along. We get 2 actions this turn. So we get 2 there. I think what we're going to do here is I think we're going to have Mr. Johnson scavenge. So forage, I should say. So that's going to be one of the actions. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to use free action for the sheriff. The sheriff's deputy, I should say. He's going to move there. He's going to attack the Zeds in the Lucky Strike mine with gunfire. So that's going to be 4. Damn. Hi, we're getting some really crappy rolls here tonight. Will's right. These dice are not being nice to me. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have the sheriff attack gunfire as well. 7, that's a little better. That's going to give us 2 hits. So I can take this, get rid of that. There we go. So we were able to wipe those Zeds out. That stack of Zeds. And that is one of the actions. I got 1 action left. Should I forage or should I send... Nah, I think I'm going to send Captain Piazza out. She's movement 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's leave her. Let's leave her there. So we can use her as a sniper if these move up. All right, so those are our actions. We're down to no actions again. So on to the next event card. Highway Night Assault. So our refugees get to move 1. +1 for every Zed on the highway track. So can jump up to 2. So we're at 5. And we get a new Zed on the start. Thankfully, it's kind of a weak one. Wrap. Okay, so the Zeds here are going to get 2 moves. So first move, we got 11. They're going to go, and they are going to attack. Let's see what we got for Mr. Johnson's special abilities here. Nope. Okay, so it's going to be 2-to-1 Zeds. We're going to shift over to equal because they are defending a town. Now, it's only when we're defending. Now, if we came to try to retake this town, then we would not get that shift. All right, Will Burton's got to rock out. So, I like that. Hope the dice are nicer. Yeah, so do I. So do I. We're only, we got about 9 more minutes to this, and then we'll pick it up again tomorrow night. All right, so anyways, so on to our hand-to-hand combat. We are at equal. So we're looking for high. Come on, get us a high number here. That's not a high number. All right, so a 5 gives us, we're going to do 1 hit. Might as well do the hit to the 6. So we get to choose what we do as far as that. As far as like doling out the damage to the Zeds. So yeah, be sure to swing by, Will, tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, I know it's quiet. I assume we're not gonna have viewers, too much until we get back on track as far as what's going on in the world. But have a great night. Stay safe out there. Okay, so we have to retreat, and we were taking 2 hits. So we are going to flip this on over. So they've taken the 2 hits, and we retreat. So they moved in. Now, remember, this has the highway moving twice. So they're going to attack us again. And they're going to move, well, they can't move up yet. So things are pretty similar as before. So we got 4. Ugh. So we're going to move to Zed's advantage. Man. Okay, so they're going to take 1 hit. And we take 3. So these civilians are wiped out. And Johnson's taking a hit. He's going to move back there. Normally what will happen is this will actually create, because we lost these civilians, that will create Zeds. So, all right. So Flaming Huron's still hanging out. I'm going to put those back. I'll put them here. Put them there. So not looking good as far as that location. Oh, damn. You know what? We didn't even get the terrain shifts. So it should have been worse. Oh, well. No biggie. All right. And we had all of 1 action again. So we're going to use our free action with the sheriff's deputy up here. He's going to make a gunfire attack. See, our gunfire's... Well, I guess I shouldn't say anything. I was going to say we had better gunfire attacks. We've had some bad gunfire attacks. So it is 3 hits. So these Zeds are wiped out as well. So we got those guys gone. We got 1 action. And I think I'm going to use the action to move. No, I think we'll stay there. I think we'll stick around there. So, all right. On to our next event. It's like we're getting night assaults everywhere. Forest night assault. So our refugees move 2. 2 dice for the outbreak. Yeah, it's looking like we might get it. A 5. That is going to give us a new Zed counter. So this is where we're going to actually draw a fate card. So first off, we're going to take a look to see where it's going to be on the highway. So this is where we're going to get... Oh, wait, this isn't supposed to be in here for this. Whoops, let's get rid of that fate card. Let's pull this fate card. In the mountains. All right, so it's going to be over here. So we got a new strength 8. St. Thomas's Historic Graveyard bursts with undead. Place 2 new regular Zed units as a Zed's mob in the St. Thomas Village space, which is over here. And apply the stacking limit if necessary. We don't have to worry about the stacking limit. Yikes. 13 points. 13 points of Zeds. Boom. Attacking. Things are not looking good, folks. Things are not looking good at all. We will finish up this turn here. So once we do that, then we bring the infection level back down. Infection level goes down to zip. When we generate a new Zed counter. Okay, so everybody on the forest track are going to move. So first of all, we got this going on there. And of course, we get no terrain shifts. That's great. Thanks. So it is going to be Zeds times 3. And 8. Okay, so we're going to lose 2. And we retreat. All right, so since we have a stacking limit here, that's how that's going to look. So we've got these 2 groups here. But at least we now have those civilians on the move. They are heading back to hopefully get to the town and be able to get into the refugee camp. All right, so we get 2 actions. Yeehaw. We got a couple actions there. I think I am going to... Yikes. I'm going to heal Mr. Johnson as an action. It costs us a supply. Flip him back over here. And let's see. Oh, yeah, I forgot to take advantage of his special ability. I really have not used him before. Usually we have the mayor with like playing a basic game, but he can lay traps. So when the Zeds move in, he can lay traps and actually move back out. Okay, so I think what we need to do is see this area down here is okay. It's pretty. I might even get the sheriff out of there with his other action. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got the sheriff. He's got a free action. Let's move him to the mine. Or do we want to move him to... No, let's move him to the mine. That way you can actually like try to shoot. All right, so that is it for tonight's presentation of Dawn of the Zeds. Things aren't looking good. Funny thing is, and this is the basic game. So we got a lot of deck to go through still. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. I'm gonna have to take a look at the special abilities for Mr. Johnson, because he gets heavy weapons and stuff like that. So maybe we'll be using him to attack a little bit more. All right. So, as I like to always point out, if you like the show, please give it a thumbs up. Hopefully the sound is a little different too. Hopefully the sound is a little fuller. I guess is what the word is that I'm looking for. So the mic hasn't changed, but I did try to change some settings as far. Flaming Hero said, hey, maybe tonight won't last long at this rate. This game doesn't usually take all that long to play. Of course I'm sitting there talking and blah, 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 dragging it out a little bit. But yeah, I don't think this is going to go super long tomorrow night. But keep in mind, also do want to point out, on Wednesday, we're going to take a look at Santa Monica, which is the brand new release from my friends over at AEG. It's kind of neat where each of the players is trying to build like their own kind of like neighborhood of Santa Monica, like beachfront area of Santa Monica. So that's kind of cool. I've been to Santa Monica quite a few times. Pretty nice. I like Santa Monica. Then Thursday, we will take a look at Tiny Town's Fortune. I'll crack this open, take a first look. This is pretty light, so I don't know. I don't think this will take a whole lot of time, but I do want to point out, I do also have a giveaway. I've got a giveaway copy as well. So I think I'll do the giveaway when we do the review. So, Flaming Heron says, sounds fine. Nice to see some gameplay. Yeah, of course. Like I said, just trying to do something different because, I mean, to be honest, the gaming news is kind of drying up a bit. Not so much role-playing game stuff, but still like board games and that. And most of the news that's coming out is just companies saying, well, we're not going to be able to ship this. We're not going to be able to ship this. Everything's being pushed back. So I thought, I still want to kind of do the show every night. Well, except Fridays. But so I figured, play some games. So I have been working on, in fact, I might, let's see if I'll show this off for a second. Because I think you can still get the sound. So I put together an overlay because I am looking to actually, I don't know if we're going to stream it live or if I'll just record it and then upload it. But I have decided I'm going to run Call of Cthulhu simply because I really do want to run like an old school Renaissance fantasy game. Only problem is, like my nephew Cameron and his girlfriend, they can't really picture the whole like fantasy genre stuff. I don't know why. But Call of Cthulhu, they can imagine the 1920s and 1930s. So I have put together this is going to be the overlay. So that's going to be the overlay for us. I am going to use Fantasy Grounds for some aspects. Mainly I'm just going to use Fantasy Grounds probably just to show off like different like clues and handouts and stuff like that is probably what I'm going to utilize it for. But so I actually have it set up. I've got one where it's for 4 players and then 5 players. So that is kind of what it's going to look like. And so I got that, put that together. So I had to talk to Elliot, my best friend, Elliot Miller. Tried getting a hold of him today because I would like to start doing this sooner rather than later. So I was hoping maybe to get something going this week. So anyway, yes, Flaming Heron's like, kids these days. I don't know. So Flaming Heron says, yeah, there's a bunch of free or sale stuff. A lot of the free stuff isn't all that fantastic. And some of the sale stuff, I'm kind of like, really? I don't know. Anyway, that is it for tonight's show. As I like to point out, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you do, don't forget, ring that bell, because it will not only notify you when the Daily Dope streams live Mondays through Thursday nights, it'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos, which I did a couple this weekend. So you can check those out. And of course, I will be back tomorrow. So if you watch live, I know there's probably 2-3 people who watched live tonight. Yeah, it doesn't help that I was late, and I think Stephen Bonacore was doing a live kind of like get together because he invited me to hang out. I said, well, I got the show going on. Anyway, so if you were watching live, keeping me company, thank you very much. Of course, if you watch after the fact, got a soft spot in my heart for you as well. So enjoy your Monday night / Tuesday morning, depending on where you live. And I will be back tomorrow. And of course, until then, be smart and stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.